Let's talk about the intermediate challenge. I mean, again, generally speaking, the result was really good, right? We can clearly see that the most complicated question was number 4. It will be checked in a minute. But before that, let's just have an overview about what you've done so far. So, first of all, question number 1, we were expecting to create a utility library to add elements to an array, remove them from the beginning, remove them from the end, prepend, append, all these things, right? We reviewed that exercise on Monday, so I was hoping this to be fresh on your mind. So I'm expecting, to be honest, everyone to have done the same. So Osman did something else. So you, for example, before going with Osman, so remember, please don't submit commented code. You've got a big penalty because of that, right?
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh yeah.
I just thought, yeah.
Yeah. So you, in terms of elegance, you get a penalty, right? Because this is not elegant.
How much do you get penalized?
That's secret, right? I'm going to tell you the details of the algorithm, right? Yes, but the fix is easy. Don't submit commented code, right? Simple as that. That's why we have Git. So if you want to go back to the previous version of your code, you can always go to GitHub and check your list of commits, right? And then copy and paste it from there, right? But don't do that. Right. You know, I mean, I've been in projects. I shouldn't say that while I'm recording, but I've been in projects in my life where at the beginning, just navigating through the components, it was like walking Dead, all the zombies, and you have to go through them. So it was just maybe 100 lines, a script having 100 lines, 80 of them were commented. What's the point? It was super complicated to understand what was the purpose of that component because everything was commented, right? So don't do that. Cool. Osman, I'm interested to see. All right. So look at what Osman did. So Osman essentially was trying to identify whether we were on this particular case or we were here. But now, because in the first example, we tried to append a string, but on the last example, on append, we tried to append an array. But now the question I have for Osman is, why we do that? Is that necessary at all? Why don't we just do that, right? Concat is generic. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, as you can see, based on what your colleagues did, this is as simple as just literally returning array.concat with a new item. This will work fine with strings, will work fine with arrays, etc. Right?
If you had an app though that was running that function a lot of times,
Mm-hmm.
it'd actually be quite good to use an approach like Osman because you said that push was more performant, so it would only run it therefore in the cases that you didn't read it in array.
Yeah, that's a valid argument. I buy that. Yeah, Concat is less performant, right? So you are right. If you have a list of 1 million users, and for example, you know that 90% of the users are strings, right? You don't want to sacrifice performance just because of the 10% of users, right? So because of that, if you do that, you get a penalty on 10% of the execution iterations, but then on the other 90%, your algorithm will be way more performant. I think if I search JavaScript push versus concat performance, maybe we'll get some results. Yeah, whatever. Look, that's I like that. I like. That's exactly what I was looking for, right? So look, so here we are checking what's the difference of concatenating 10,000 elements versus pushing 10,000 elements, right? So look, using concat, we managed to, well, maybe I'm oversimplifying this a bit, but roughly speaking, we managed to add 3 elements on each second, right? which is very slow. But using push, we can add almost 300 elements every second. You can see the performance. So we could say that push is almost how many? 1,000 times more performant than concat, right? Right. So yeah, that's a good point. But apart from that, yeah, all good. So let's go back to the second example. I love that. I think this is probably my first question ever, because it's simple to grasp, but there are so many different ways to solve the problem. I haven't seen what you've done, but look at Gray compared with Yin, then you, then Osman, right? You see, there are so many ways. I have to say that right, I mean, okay, let's review that. So Gray, as usual, is creating a regex that no one understands, but that's not his fault, right? It's everyone else's fault, right? We should understand regex. Anyway, so he's using match to see how many instances out of this regex A, E, I, O, U. So if we got any result, so if we got more than one element, more than 0 elements on the array, then we return the length. If not, we got 0. Okay, I mean, that's fine. I mean, that's absolutely fine. Then Yin, which I believe it's pretty much the same thing as U. So they split it. Not really. No, it's different thing. It's different thing. So Yin, she splitted the string. So what do we get on new string? What type of data is that? Array. Array of what? Of characters. Strings, correct. Individual strings, characters, right? So then she's looping on that array, and then she says, hey, if that character, if that particular character, actually, yes, if that particular character is a vowel, then add the counter, right? That's the classic, that's the academic approach to how to solve the problem. That's fine, that's absolutely fine. Let me check U first, because it's very similar. So he's using includes, which is interesting, right? This is very interesting. So he's checking whether a particular char, do we need includes? Because a string of I, that should be a vowel, that should be one of the letters, right? So that should be X, then should be D, then should be X, then should be D. So includes is fine. I mean, it does the trick. But can we just compare str of I versus A? Equal. Probably we can, right? Unless you disagrees. Yeah. Okay. But anyways, I like includes, and I'll be back to this in a minute. Right, so same structure, same strategy, right? We iterate, if we find the vowel, we increase the counter, fine. Then Osman is doing something very similar to what I will do. So what Osman is doing is, he created an array of vowels, so then he splits the string, so we have an array of chars, and then he does a filter. And on the filter, he's trying to find out of the list of vowels if that char is part of the list. So if we got an A, the A is definitely in that list, so that should return truthy. So that should be added to the filter. We'll learn how to use filter. If you are curious, this is on YouTube already. But yeah, I like the principle. I think we can just simplify this. But in terms of structure, I like what Osman did. So let me offer you my proposal. So again, I'm going to open a new snippet. Usually I click here and it works. Here you go. Right, so let's do that. So the question, correct me if I'm wrong, was something like function get vowel count. right? And then, so when we call get vowel count, hello Codiri, so what's the count here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correct. That should return 5, right? So name of the argument. You tell me. String. Okay. Yeah, because we don't know what type of data we are dealing with, right? So yeah, I think a string is valid enough. So now look at my suggestion. Return. Right. String, same as you did, most of you. Dot split, because I want to get an array. Then I'm going to buy Osman's argument. I'm going to do dot filter because I want to get another array, and then before going through the filter, right? This is the strategy I want to follow. I want to transform a string into an array of characters. Then I want to filter them somehow. We'll see in a minute how. And eventually, because I still have an array, I have to join it again, right? So this is the way I like to attack problems. Instead of following the instructions chronologically, first of all, I make sure that the steps are well defined. Because then I'm narrowing the problem. Now it's not about creating a function, it's just creating a condition using filter, right? So using filter, we can do some conditioning here. So tell me the name of the argument. Car. Okay, character, right? That's fine. So then, essentially, we want to check if that character is a vowel, right? It's as simple as that. So, Osman, he used an array to declare the list of, the white list, right? The list of vowels. But we can make it slightly simpler. We could just do that. Look, return A, E, I, O, U dot includes character. Right? Sorry, I did join, but I didn't want to return the joined character. I wanted to get the length, right? So what should I put here instead? Length, correct. That was my fault. Length, right? So let's see if that works, and if it works, we'll explain the algorithm. If not, we'll find out why. It works, right? Includes works with arrays, but it also works with strings. Look at how simple this is, right? It's very, very simple. We said, hey, I got this list of accepted chars. Tell me if this one is here or not. As simple as that, right? It's very, very simple. And of course, we can make it even more sexy by using an arrow function. That's it, right? Easy. We transform a string into an array of chars, and then we said, okay, given one specific char, is that part of that list? Because I know these are vowels, right? If so, if it's part of the list, that char will be kept on my array. If not, it will be discarded. Then here, eventually, I have an array of vowels, so the only thing I need to do is to check the length of the array. Simple as that, right? So what happened, back to my previous example, if I do that, what will the result be? Yeah, so you tell me, what's the result? Marta? Like anything without the vowels. Sorry, so you say that this will return H, L, L, K, D, R. Is that your solution? Marta. Right, so Marta,
No space, and no space.
no space.
Yeah.
So Marta and you said that. You are wrong. Next one. Sorry?
It returns the vowel.
The vowels, you tell me. So Alex is proposing, no pressure. Sorry, E, O, O, I, I. E, O, O. Is there any space? Okay, I think Alex is right. Let's have a look. I may be wrong, and Marta and you may be right. I don't think so, but who knows? Right, so yes, Alex is right. Why? Why? Because filter will keep just the chars that match this condition. Will keep the vowels, right? However, now I'm going to change the question. What do we need to change on the algorithm to make Marta and you happy? Exclamation mark. Where? Here. Really? Are you sure? I think you're still wrong.
Would that look for all the consonants? No, I wouldn't know.
For the
There's
arrow.
no, just say-
Before the arrow. Sorry? Before the char. Before here. The other one. There. Wow, that's very exotic. No, that doesn't make sense because you are negating a char. That doesn't make sense. You can negate a condition. This is a condition. You can negate it. You can do that, definitely. You can do that. So do you think that this algorithm will return that? Right, so Marta says yes, you said yes, Alex is also convinced. You are all wrong. I think I may be wrong, could be my fault, but I couldn't put my money on that solution. All right, someone else. No. So it's Osman, G, Tom, Shandon, Jim, or Gray.
State the question again, sorry.
So you haven't been listening since what?
Yeah. But there are like 3 questions thrown out.
No, so
Which one am I
this
answering?
just simple. That algorithm, what it does return? I'll give you my solution because no one is giving me any feedback. I think that will return HLL space KDR. Let's see if I'm wrong or I miserably failed. Exactly, I'm right. You see? Why? Why? Because look, this is our string, right? We're saying keep anything which is not here. But we got a space. You miss the space. Subtle but important, right? So then, what do we have to change on the algorithm to make Marta, you, and Alex happy?
Space in the.
A space. Where? Here, there, here, in join. Here. Right. So, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. No, wait. No, that's fine. No, that's okay. That's okay. So what this algorithm returns now? There is a big beer for whoever finds the answer. A. So wait a minute. So Jean says A. Let me put H space L space L space other space K space, D space, R space. Is there another space at the end or not?
No.
I think you're right. Here we go. You see? HLL. Good. Actually, how many spaces you said? Wrong. Wrong. You almost got it.
Oh yeah.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, the
but that's
space on
true.
space, yeah.
So there are 3 spaces, not 2. Why? Because we got the space, but the space is surrounded by 2 spaces, right? You see the difference? You see the difference between this and that? Yeah? So you got, look, 1, 2 spaces, but here we got our genuine space, you see, but then this is surrounded by 2 artificial spaces. I was close, but that's a good exercise. So, unless Marta want to make it more complicated.
Expert challenge for you.
Yes. So, back to the previous question. We agreed that we had to add a space, right, to get, I don't even remember what we wanted to get, something like HLLKDR, something like that, right? So we agreed that we have to add a space. So first of all, let's see if that fixed the issue. Yes, it does. Now, question. What happens if I put the space here?
That's okay as well.
It will work. You're right. It doesn't matter, right? So we have a list of charts. We want to see if the given one is part of the list. We don't care if it's the first or the last. We don't care. Another question? Right? So this is, well, what you've seen before, I think it was something like that. This is what I will suggest as a very simple way to count the number of vowels. What happens if we don't have any vowel? Undefined. So Tom says undefined. Wrong. Who else? So Alex says empty array. Wrong. And then Marta and Ray. So you said 0. Right. Let's prove it. Correct. You are right. Correct, because we're getting the length. Filter, we learned that, always returns an array. Even if we don't find any element, if the condition is never met, like this case, we filter returns what? Empty array, correct. The length of an empty array is 0, exactly. Right? Good?
Yeah.
Right, so let's go back to the next question. Number three, that's interesting. So we have an array of numbers, which in reality is an array of strings representing numbers, and we have to combine them. So we have to order them, to sort them, and then convert them into a proper number. So 3 and 9, we got 9 and 3, and we got number 93, right? Something like that. Let's see what you propose. So Gray said, let me sort the numbers, and then he's reversing the array, okay, and then he's joining, and then he's converting it into a number. Okay, I'm not against that. Jean did something very interesting, and I'll be back to that afterwards, but for now, look, so Jean's solution is even easier probably, because look, so Gray sorted the numbers and then he reversed. But Jean went one step beyond and she did both things at once, right? So she literally sorted and reversed, right? When we'll talk about how sort works. But sort, we receive 2 arguments, one number and the other. So if we do V minus A, that will sort from the highest to the lowest, right? Then you join them, and then you transform into a number. That's almost perfect. And I'll tell you why it's not fully perfect in a minute. Osman is pretty much the same thing. It's literally the same thing. But, so, either Osman or Jean, one of them got a penalty. Do you know who and why? Correct. Even though you did literally the same thing, right? Osman code is more readable. I don't even have to scroll. I see everything he's done in one go, right? In your case, I have to go to the right. And finally, so he did numbers.sort, so he's using sort. It's pretty much the same thing, to be honest, right? So, yeah. So technically speaking, I have to say, I think it's fair to say that you solution the sorting part is more strict. I'll let you know why. Because Jean and Osman and even Gray, so everyone except you are comparing strings. So let me know what you are doing. You are doing this. Return 6 is greater than 3. So will this return true or false? True. That's correct. And now, true or false? True. Why true? Why true? I mean, don't get me wrong, that's correct. That's why everyone managed to get the right answer. But to me, if I'm reviewing your code, I wouldn't accept that as a valid solution. Why? Because this is a bit complicated. Technically speaking, it's same thing as doing A is less than B. Does that make any sense? I don't know, maybe, but I don't know, it's a bit strange. So to me, this makes sense because we're comparing numbers, but you're not comparing numbers, you're comparing strings. Still, modern browsers like Chrome, they know how to deal with this kind of inconsistencies. But to me, it doesn't look very clean. Because of that, I like what you did. Before comparing, where is he? Yeah, so he kind of transformed the results into a number. I have to say that this is not even correct because he's comparing and then he's transforming into a number. We should do that earlier on. Technically speaking, we should do that. That's fully correct because we're expressing what we want to do. We want to compare a number, an integer against another integer. Right? Again, it's not a big deal. Just a matter of the beautifulness of your algorithms.
Got it. Sorry, with that example,
Yep. Yep.
do one more thing.
Yeah.
So back to the other example you just done in.
Oh, yeah.
in the
Yeah.
snippet, yes. So if you take out the parsing and you put the second number as say 13,
Yes.
how will that sort it?
Yes. That's what I wanted to mention next.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. No. But that's fine. That's fine. So if we got that, what will this return? True or false? True. So Gray is completely right. So even though modern browsers at some extent understand how to compare numbers, this will only work for one-digit numbers. Because in reality, correct, is comparing 6 against 1. That's why this approach is very flaky, right? It's not strong at all. However, if we do that, now it should clearly return what? False. Exactly. Now it works fine, right? So technically speaking, if we compare numbers as strings, it will work fine just under some specific circumstances, right? So because in reality, this is like comparing A is greater than B. Will this return true or false? Has to be false, I believe. Exactly. And now, it should be true, but just because on the alphabet, A comes before B. Okay, fine, right? So that's why we shouldn't compare, we should avoid comparing strings. This is the most fundamental issue, but there is a subtle one. And this is another thing. I used to ask this question every time I interview a senior guy, and most of the time they fail. Look, some of you use parse int. Some of you have used number. So, which one is better and why? In reality, both are equally valid. Look, if I do return parse int of 5, it returns 5. But if I do number of 5, it returns 5. So again, the difference between number and parse int is performance. I see developers, senior developers, contractor developers using parse int all the time. That's wrong. It could be okay if you have a very good reason. And we'll talk about good reasons. But 99% of the cases, it's a bad idea to use parse int because it's way, way slower than number, right? So this question, you'll be asked about that eventually one day in your life, right? And then you'll remember me. Sorry? Yes, it will happen. It will happen. However, if you use parsing, if you're doing a pull request, if I'm doing a pull request and use parsing, and the first thing I do is I massively reject the pull request because you use parsing, then you can still argue. So nothing is black or white. So you can argue because parsing is way, way slower because of a reason, because it's way, way more powerful. It can do more things. I'll give you an example. Sorry? The base. No, I don't. Well, I didn't want to go that far. Okay, I could accept that yeah, about the base of the conversion, but I wanted to talk about something even more fundamental. Imagine that you are playing with CSS, and at some point, from the CSS, you want to capture one property. We'll see why this is any possible, but that may happen. Eventually, you want to see the size of one of your elements of your screen, and that CSS says the returns that is 100 pixels. px. Parse int is smart enough to extract the number out of the string. So if I run that, that will return 100. If I try to do the same using number, no, I don't know what this will, I don't think this is going to work. That will return not a number. Not a number. I think that's the result. Exactly, right? So in that respect, if your data has this kind of a structure, parsing is more powerful, right? Also be careful, because even though parsing is smart, it's relatively smart, because in reality, if you got that, I don't think parsing is going to work here. This will return something weird. Let's try it. Not a number as well. So parsing starts parsing your string, and it will take all the numbers until it finds a not a number. So,
The number is somewhere in the middle of the string.
sorry? Not a number.
Maybe that space.
A space. I don't think. Look, like that. I think that should return what?
3.
3, I think. I may be wrong, but I think it's 3. Correct. You see? Is 3 a number? Yes, take it. Is a space a number? No. Okay, stop. Right? So important. Number instead of parsing, unless you have a really good reason. Any question? Right. I'll show you a video. My best, not mine, but my favorite video about JavaScript talks. It's a 5-minute video. I'll show you afterwards because I just got a reminder about this. Cool. So let's continue. So yeah, we got that. Then question number 4, and this is the complicated one. Question number 4. So we had to use regex. I think we were expected to use exec. So Yin or you, is any of you particularly interested in solving the problem? You don't mind? Then come here, please.
I nearly got it.
You nearly got it. Okay, so then you'll share with the audience what you've done. Right. Just let me prepare the challenge. Right. So challenges. Yep. That one. All yours.
There we go. First, I create a regex object. So var array equals new red. I can't remember if it's reg What's the syntax?
Capital R.
Yeah.
And then capital E as well.
Yeah. And then you take in, I can't remember the arguments. I think it's token. And then
Yeah, so we're trying to find it.
and then that.
Question about his arguments, for example. Should we write it first?
Yeah. And okay. This is where I start to get really confused. Let me think.
So what do you want to do? You want to use match or exec?
Exec.
Exec.
Oh yeah, that's what we want.
Yeah, correct.
So we want to do array.exec on, I think, the sentence,
Correct.
and then we want to put this in a while loop.
Yeah, because every time you run exec,
Yeah.
it will give you one result. So we don't want one result, we want all the results, right? That's why we have to iterate. That's a weird thing. I have to say this is very weird. But hey, it's how it works, right?
And then, okay, so I did really questionable stuff here. I just remember how I did it. Basically, I created an array here,
Okay.
and then I just called it array2,
Yeah.
and then I don't declare anything in it, and then I do array2 dot push, I
Yeah.
think push, and I just push the token on it, and it's close, it's so close, and then I return array2.
So what will this return? Let's review your code. What will this return on the first example?
Can I just run it? Because I just need to see something.
It's complicated, but I think this will return. No, well, this is going to fail. Clearly.
It's gonna fail.
It will return nothing. So wait,
Oh,
wait.
oh, wait,
Why
wait.
is it going to fail? This is going to
Okay.
return anything.
I mean, in the while loop where it says array.exec sentence, does that? I don't quite get how that evaluates to either true or false. Just using it like that. Does it evaluate true if it runs, or does it evaluate true if it runs a match? Is it-
So did you give it a name?
I did, but I mean, I don't know whether you have to.
Yeah, I wasn't sure myself. That's why I called that one array2. I called this array1, and I didn't know what to do with array1 because when I tried to use array1 in the body of the while loop, it weren't doing crap all, and so I was just like,
Right. So if I look at the example, probably get this rest, I will stop coding for the rest of my life. Semantics, you.
yeah,
What's array one? What's array two?
yeah, the arrays.
I know they're the variable, but
Yeah.
the variables of what?
It works it out for you.
But still,
Yeah.
This is not going to work. This
Okay.
will never work. It's
Wait.
not in the semantics.
We won't use array1.
So I still created an array where you've got array2, but I just called it matches.
Okay.
Is that okay? Is that semantically?
It's better, right?
It's better.
It's telling you
Okay.
that you're trying to match something.
Sorry, not there. Where you've actually declared your array at the top.
Okay.
Of course, yeah, you got to change the other one.
Yeah. Can we just call it array2? Or just call it matches? Should we just call it matches? Fine. Cool.
That looks good. But wait a minute.
It's not wrong.
right?
Yeah.
So what we're going to return now.
Yeah.
So what will that return? Nothing. That will fail. That will clearly throw an error. And anyone spot what the error is.
So close to getting this result. I can't remember what I did.
Sorry? I think Osman is right. Can you say it again, please? Correct. So you're trying to use push
Oh,
on
okay.
an undefined
Mm.
variable.
Yeah. Okay, I will do this. I did this as well. Hang on. Okay. Tokens equals sentence.split. I split on the. I think I split on the thing. And then God, this is painful. Oh my god, why am I doing this?
Yeah, this is
You're getting each word there. Yeah, is that what you're trying
it's getting worse. I agree.
Yeah, get each
I
word.
think you were relatively close. So wait a minute, you.
Yeah.
Because we agreed that there was a problem. So why don't we fix the problem first and then think about next steps? So matches
Yeah.
is expected to be an array.
Yeah.
Why don't you initialize the array?
Okay.
Correct. Then here, so every time you run this line, it will give you a match. Match 1, then match 2, then match 3, match whatever. But you are not capturing the result.
Yeah.
So in here, you need to save that.
And we just can declare it there.
Yeah.
Fine. What's the meaningful name? I don't know what the meaningful
So
name.
if you call it matches, an individual one will be match.
Okay. Nice. Nice,
Match
guys.
Equals. Yeah, that's good. Okay. And then what happened here? Matches.push. What are you pushing inside of the list of matches? You declare the variable, but you're not using it. Why
Yeah.
do you capture a variable?
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yeah. Typo. Okay.
So the first example here, the first match is array E. So then you add it to the list of matches. The second match is the second array E.
Mhm.
So you add it as well.
You're saying this works?
That could work, but you still, so first of all, why do you need line number 3? Tokens.
Yep. It was because I don't know why I did this. I need to look at. I was doing the training again, and I was doing question 4 of the training, and then I was really close to the result, and I couldn't quite. I couldn't figure out why I was doing something.
Yeah, but if the example works,
Yep. Oh shit. So.
line number 3, you are not using the variable token, right? Or you can get rid of it. Why you
Oh, okay. That's what you mean. Okay.
And also, one more thing. Mass is red. We should try to avoid having red variables because that means that the variable. Okay. How
Alright.
many times are we declaring the match variable in the first example? Multiple, 2, 3, I don't know. So for that particular case, my suggestion, because we are going to run this line multiple times, so we are going to redeclare match multiple times. Why don't you declare a variable called match here, and then just use it?
Say it again.
The condition of the while loop will run several times.
Yep.
We agree on that.
Yep.
So that means that we're going to declare a variable match. It's like doing bar match, bar match, bar match, bar match, bar match multiple times.
Hmm.
This is not a good practice. We should declare the variables just once. In other words, we should try to avoid declaring variables inside of the loop. It's better to declare them there. You got the list of variables on top, yes, bar match, then correct. So then you can get rid of the declaration.
Okay.
And one more thing. Why you are using bar? Is there any strong reason when we use bar?
For matches, it's because it's going to grow, and then for match, fudge, I don't know. Or are you saying that we should use let?
Correct. Correct. Today, in 2018, we should try to avoid using bar. Because there is a replacement for bar, which is let. It will work, don't get me wrong. But let is a bit more strict. We'll talk about the differences between let and bar. For now, just please try to avoid using bar. And hopefully for the other two as well.
Okay, fine.
Anything else? In terms of styling, you got a penalty on line number 3.
Line number 3. Yeah.
Why?
Because it's not uninitialized.
No, it's fine.
Oh, wait.
But, but on line number 2, you added a couple of spaces surrounding the equals, which makes it more readable. But on line number 3, correct.
Okay.
There is something, right?
Yeah.
Is it okay?
I think so.
Is there any complaint?
Well, what is, I thought exec return an array of more than one item, more than just the match. I thought it returned an array of 4 things.
I think except
Exec, yeah. So our variable match is an array of 4 things each time, so we're pushing 4 things to matches. That's what I thought.
I think match is an array of one match.
Is it? Okay.
I think. Because we are adding an array into another array. You can see on the second example on the left, stranger, and it looks a bit weird because we have 2 arrays, one inside of the other.
Yeah.
This is because exec works in that way. I mean, I'll be honest, this is probably the most weird, probably unnecessary question on the entire coding platform. Right. That's one question, but it doesn't hurt to play once from time to time. I think that's okay. So, I don't know, unless you want to change something, yes, that's correct.
Really crap.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is being recorded, so if anyone has a question, you can catch up with the video afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. So, and finally, question number 5, which everyone managed to answer. We'll keep it short. We explained that a few days ago. For example, Gray literally did what we explained some days ago. So we got a string, we convert it into an array of chars, and then we filter. So we want to evaluate if each specific chart is part of that list. If it's not part of the list because of the exclamation mark, then we will return it, right? Yeah, easy. That's exactly what we need. Just adding the semicolon at the end. And Gin, it's the same thing, correct. But it's the same thing, but it took me like 10 seconds to figure out it was the same thing. Why? Because to me, even though they did literally the same thing, I have to say that Gray's code is way more readable. Because look at the structure. You see instruction number 1, split. Instruction number 2, filter. Instruction number 3, join. In your case, it's a bit messy. Because first line, you split it, then you filter by using wrong indentation, and then you join using wrong indentation again, right? So this is the expected formatting for your snippet. That's perfect. Osman, same thing, literally the same thing, right? It's all good. Just remember, please, to split the code. My suggestion is when you play with arrays, that's classic. You do split, then you do map or filter or sort, and then you do join. Every time you do that, just start on a new line, right? Because it's easier to follow the different instructions, right? And you did the same thing, but if you notice the difference, instead of chaining all the instructions after the first one, so he created a variable and then he did the rest. So what do you think is better? Do you think it's better to chain everything, or do you think it's better to create a variable and then on a separate instruction to complete the process? I'll give you my personal view about that. I prefer that. I think it's very readable, it's very easy, but there is just one caveat, there is one inconvenience of using this approach. This code today, I'm sure at some point it will change, but today is way more complicated to debug. I cannot add a breakpoint, for example, here, because to add a breakpoint, you need a new instruction. Here, how many instructions you have? You have one. Technically speaking, everything is a single instruction. However, what you did, he has 2 instructions. First, you see the instruction because we end with a semicolon. First, we get the tokens array, and then we do something else. So what that means, I can happily add a breakpoint on line number 3, so I can evaluate if tokens array is what I expect or not. That will be my only argument towards using that strategy. Apart from that, from a readability point of view, I would suggest to use this one. Cool? Any question, anything else? Nope. Thank you, guys.